you. So we have Dan Butierez here. He is a candidate for CD7. Thank you, Mr. Butierez, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's dive right in. Ballots are in voters' hands. The actual date for the special election is right around the corner. What does this home stretch look like for you?
Well, it looks like I'm going to win the primary. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I just went and voted for myself. Of course, I'm the only candidate in this race that can actually vote for themselves. So I went down and voted today. We waved flags and got a lot of attention, a lot of honks and waves, and people took pictures because I put out my big signs while we were doing flags over there. So people were taking pictures when they saw that it was me on the sign and standing there waving the American flag.
Okay, so this is a special election. Unfortunately, Mr. Grava did pass. Condolences to him. We've done a ton of reporting on CD7. You did run last time. People should know, so we did cover that as well. Now, I spoke to a couple of PCs who were down there canvassing in CD7, and they said that among the doors that they knocked, people were not aware that there was an election or even who was running, which that's kind of amazing. So if there is a low turnout, both for now and the general, let's forecast for the general. Who does that favor? Does that favor you? Does it favor the Democrats? Does it favor, who does that favor?
What I'm seeing, I know my signs, and I'm the only one that has done this, and everybody that's campaigning. I actually ordered up smaller signs that say special election that I'm putting to my signs so that when people see my sign, they also see special election next to it. So it lets them know why the sign is here.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
no one else is really doing that.
Now I saw a video and it was a blue or purple. I mean, she looked awesome actually. It was an older lady, a Democrat, and she was saying why she was voting for you. So you
Yeah.
seem to be putting together this unique coalition of voters down there in CD7 of some Democrats.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how are you getting those Democrats? What does your coalition of Dan Butierrez voters look like?
Well, Donna DeConcini, which is a Democrat that's out talking to Democrats, getting them to vote for me. She actually has spoken to me. She likes the fact that I'm just common sense. There's issues that Donna and I will never agree on, and she accepts that. But the issues that tend to matter to everybody, most people realize that I'm the guy that can fix those. So they're willing to ignore the fact that I'm a strong Second Amendment advocate, and I don't agree with abortion. These things don't matter to them nearly as much as getting the homeless off the street, stopping the drugs. There are bigger issues than those issues.
Okay, so for people that don't know CD7, especially, down in the Tucson, in the southern area, it does tend to be a high area of drug use. It is, coming across the border, fentanyl, a lot of homelessness. And so, with your background, that's a lot of people have, made a lot of it. I wrote about the fact that you were incarcerated and you were vindicated because it was proven that you never should have been incarcerated. But that did take you down a certain road. So, can you speak to how that early experience in your life positions you to handle those type of issues that CD7 is facing?
Well, I went through the being homeless, and during that period, had met people that when I was in prison that I started running with when I got out of prison. They introduced me to crystal meth. I got hooked on that, which caused me to become homeless. I lived in the streets for a while. And once you're in that kind of an environment, it's really hard to get out of it because you become complacent. You begin to accept where you're at. And there's a sense of freedom with it because, you're not worried about an electric bill or paying rent. None of those things matter. But I did want my life back. It was just like an impossibility to reach. So when I got violated for doing the drugs and I got put back in prison, at that time I got my head right, gave my life over to Jesus Christ, started working in the prison, got my self-esteem back. So when I came out of prison, all I wanted to do is work and continue growing, maturing. And I went to work for a company, worked there for 10 years, left that company to build my own company, then bought the other company. And during that time, I wound up, the state came back and admitted that I was convicted of a crime I didn't commit. And the judge took it further and said it was void in the first place. So I wound up thinking, just driving and asking God, why would you have put me through that? Why did I go through that? There's got to be a reason. That's when I noticed, I was paying attention to the homeless that are just all in our streets. And I said, oh my God, he took me down that road because I'm the guy that can help these people. I know the path to get your life back, and I want to set up a program to help these people get their lives back.
So it really sounds like you have a redemption story, and I've heard the story. I wrote about the story, so I know it, and but it's still touching, even hearing it now for like, the fifth time, right? It's still touching because it really is a redemption story, and you really are able to speak to a lot of the issues that's going on in CD7 in a real way. And the other thing I did want to say is that you didn't mention. I heard you say that you went back and you bought the company that you originally worked for 10 years, but now you actually, I think, employ a lot of people that are on the street or need help, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, this is the time of year that we wind up bringing a lot of them in, putting them to work because we do the college terms. All the college kids are leaving right now. All the dorms and housing are emptying out, and they only have a few weeks to get those painted, fixed, and ready for people to move back in when the college kids come back. So during that period, it's not rocket science. I can hire these people, help them earn a paycheck, help them get their self-esteem back, and some of them will succeed, some of them won't. But I
Okay.
would like to, yeah, and that's kind of what I want to do with a program through the government that actually gets people back to work so that they can get their self-esteem.
Nice, nice. Now, another thing that I have heard, and this is definitely going to be something that I would want you to speak to. And then if you get past the primary, you're going to have to speak to this as well, is can a Republican actually win CD7? And I'm going to also frame the question like this. This is going to be an expensive race. It's already been an expensive primary, especially on the Democrat side. The Democrats, we know that they already had war chests going in, some of them. It's going to be expensive. There's money going to come in from everywhere. How are you going to raise the money? And why should Republicans donate to you, or why should, different, you know, special interest on the conservative side donate to you? Can you win? That's what people want to know before they give their hard-earned money.
Well, this race, I believe absolutely we can win it. I do have quite a war chest myself set aside. I do need more money because I would like to run commercials against Adelitas to show what I can do and what she's not going to be able to do. For example, this homeless crisis that's plaguing Tucson, she was on the board of supervisors. She couldn't fix it then. How's she going to go fix it now? She was in a position to fix it. She didn't fix it. She's not going to fix it. All the issues that people are upset about, she was actually the one that could have fixed it and didn't. So that's not going to change. And a lot of people that I talk to realize that. A lot of Democrats I talk to realize that. The other reason is Adelita isn't that popular. She really isn't. She's not her dad. I was at Walmart the other day, standing in line. An older Hispanic woman in a wheelchair was up at the counter. I was getting my medication, and she turned around and looked at me. She goes, "I know you." She goes, "Well, I've never met you before." I know who you are. You're Mr. Butierez. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, you're running Phil Grijalva seat. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, I didn't, and you ran last time. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, I didn't vote for you. I said, okay. She goes, I'm a big time Grijalva supporter. I said, okay, here we go. She goes, I'm also a big time Adelita supporter. I said, okay, well, that's nice. She goes, but I'm voting for you. I said, well, really? She goes, would you like to know why? I said, well, yeah, kind of curious. She goes, well, the first reason is you're the hometown boy. She goes, the second reason, and this is the big one, and this is what a lot of people are looking at. It's time for change. Nobody's looking and thinking we want another Grijalva for 22 years. And there's a lot of Democrats that are feeling that way. And the other thing that I said today, because so many, we were in Peter Piper's on the south side, and the lady kept looking at me, and then she finally said, "You're Mr. Butierez, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "I voted for you." But I think a lot of Democrats are just going to vote for me because they don't want any of the other candidates that are running on hate, and they don't. They're just, and I do know this: the Democrats are not fired up for what the Democrats are running. And I believe they may just vote for me with the thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and vote for Butierez. We'll get him in, and then we'll get a better Democrat to run next year and then take him out. And I can see them doing that just because they know this is only, a year and there's another election and they could get someone that they would be excited about. Because right now they're not excited about the three candidates. Well, there's five, but there's only three main ones.
Right. Okay, and one more question. And also, let me set the stage for people that don't know. When you say Adelita, you're referencing Ms. Adelita Grijalva. She is the daughter to the former deceased representative that held that seat for like over 20 years. How long has Ms. Grijalva been on the Board of Supervisors? Do you know?
I I think 6 years.
Okay, and before that, I think she was on the school board for quite some
Yeah,
time.
and she's still on a member of the school board. Put it this way, she's been a politician her whole life.
Okay.
She's never built anything. I built businesses. She's never built anything. She's never signed a paycheck. She's just, and a lot of people are realizing they're getting tired of the politicians, and they're realizing that we really need someone in there that understands business, that will do what's best for our small businesses. Adelita's not going to do what's best for the small business because she doesn't understand them.
Okay. Well, the primary is next week. Thank you